Every Brabus Mercedes sedan, coupe, and sports car explained. S-Class. The S-Class is where Brabus made their name, and for good reason. When you start with Mercedes' flagship sedan, there's nowhere to go but absolutely insane. Let's cover every single one they've ever built. The Brabus S 5.8 and CL 5.8 were Brabus flexing their naturally aspirated muscle in the early 2000s. The 5.8-liter V8 pumped out 412 horsepower when most supercars were making similar numbers. But this wasn't about raw speed. It was about effortless power delivery that made highway pulls feel like teleportation. Fast forward to today's S63 AMG-based builds. The Brabus S63 AMG and Rocket 900 S63. Take Mercedes' already ridiculous S63 and crank it to 900 horsepower. The 500 S500 offers a more reasonable approach, with the S500 base. The 850 S63 AMG and S63 Cabrio show that open-air luxury can still be mental. The Cabrio makes 850 horsepower with the top down, because why wouldn't you want to experience that much power with wind in your hair? The Brabus 1000 all gray, based on the S63E performance, pushes things to exactly 1000 horsepower from a hybrid V8 system. It's not just fast, it's redefining what a sedan can be in the electric age. CL500. The CL500 took a different approach, using Mercedes' 5-liter V8 as a base, but with Brabus tuning that transformed the character completely. Less power than the 5.8, but with a focus on refinement and daily usability. V12. Then came the V12 monsters. The Brabus S, V12, and 6.7 V12 were engineering statements that said, displacement is everything. The 6.7-liter V12 made 450 horsepower and 468 pound-feet of torque. Impressive numbers for its era, but it was the character that mattered. This thing sounded like thunder and pulled like a freight train. But the real game changer was the SV12 BiTurbo, making 730 horsepower and a massive 974 pound-feet of torque. This wasn't just fast, it was redefining what a sedan could be. 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, while weighing as much as a small building. T13. The CL 600 T13, T13 Coupe, and T13 Roadster were Brabus showing off. Hand-built V12s, custom interiors that cost more than most cars, and performance that embarrassed dedicated sports cars. The T13 Roadster could hit 211 miles per hour with the top down, because apparently wind in your hair at 200+ miles per hour was a selling point. SV12. The SV12 S Coupe, based on the CL600, was the two-door expression of Brabus luxury performance. The CL600 base model got its own Brabus treatment, while the S600S V12S and S600S V12R 750 pushed sedan performance even further. The SV12S Limo and T13 Limo were for those who needed to be driven in ultimate luxury. Extended wheelbases, partition walls, and enough rear legroom to host a board meeting, but still with 730+ horsepower up front. The SV12R variants deserve special mention, 730 horsepower from hand-built V12S and a top speed of 211 miles per hour. These weren't just fast cars. They were rolling statements about what German engineering could achieve when money was no object. C-Class. Brabus C-Class models were always the entry point into madness. More affordable than the S-Class monsters, but still completely unhinged. The C3.8S was one of Brabus's first attempts at making the compact C-Class serious. The 3.8-liter V6 was a departure from the usual V8 madness, but it proved that Brabus could work magic on any platform. The C3.6 used a 3.6-liter V6, making 360 horsepower, while the CV8 variants from the W202 and W203 eras were Brabus proving they could make any Mercedes fast. The CV8S squeezed a 6-liter V8, making 426 horsepower into the compact C-Class chassis. The result was a car that handled like it was constantly trying to kill you, but in the most entertaining way possible. The W202 and W203 platforms weren't designed for this much power, so Brabus had to completely rework the suspension, brakes, and cooling systems. Then came the Bullet, based on the W204C63 AMG. The original Bullet was already mental, but the Bullet 800 took things to another level. 788 brake horsepower from a 6.3-liter V12 twin-turbo. Yes, they somehow fit a V12 into a C-Class. It was engineering insanity disguised as a luxury sedan. The Bullet's party trick wasn't just the power, it was how Brabus tuned the suspension to handle all that torque. While other tuners just added power and hoped for the best, Brabus completely reworked the chassis dynamics. The result was a drift machine that could also handle a grocery run. E-Class. The E-Class gave Brabus the perfect platform, bigger than the C-Class, but more agile than the S-Class. This is where they got really creative and built some of their most memorable cars. The SV12 BiTurbo was Brabus answering a question nobody asked. What if we put a twin-turbo V12 in a mid-size sedan? The answer was 800 horsepower and performance that embarrassed supercars. It was completely unnecessary and absolutely brilliant. The E500 and E500 Coupe offered more reasonable approaches to E-Class performance, using Mercedes' 5-liter V8 as a base. The EV12 naturally aspirated variant provided V12 character without the complexity of turbos. The B63S was a special variant that combined E-Class practicality with serious performance credentials. Limited production and hand-built quality made it a collector's item from day one. The 800 V12 BiTurbo and 800 E-Class E63 AMG represent the modern evolution of E-Class performance. Today's 900E 63S takes the already insane AMG E63S and pushes it to 900 horsepower. The result is a family wagon that can embarrass most supercars while still fitting golf clubs in the back. Black Baron, the EV12. Black Baron and Black Baron deserve special mention. Limited to just 10 units worldwide, this wasn't just a fast car, it was Brabus creating automotive art. Hand-painted black exterior, custom leather interior, and a V12 making 800 horsepower that sounded like thunder. The Black Baron was so exclusive that most people have never seen one in person. Each one was individually configured for its owner, making every example unique. They're worth more now than when they were new, and values keep climbing. Wagon. The TV12 and EV12T brought V12 power to the wagon platform, because apparently hauling your family and their luggage at 200+ miles per hour was a market need that Brabus felt compelled to fill. CLS 55. The CLS 55 AMG-based Brabus was where they perfected the formula. Take Mercedes' supercharged V8, add Brabus magic, and create something that could embarrass dedicated supercars while carrying 4 people in comfort. The supercharged 5.4-liter V8 had a character all its own, instant throttle response, and a sound that was part muscle car, part fighter jet. Brabus tuning extracted every bit of performance while maintaining reliability. Rocket. The first Brabus Rocket, CLS, was a statement piece. 730 horsepower from a twin-turbo V12 and a top speed of 225 miles per hour. But here's what made it special. It looked like a normal CLS until you hit the gas. Then it became a missile with license plates. The Rocket 800, CLS, and later Rocket CLS class variants showed how the concept evolved over time. Each generation got more powerful, more refined, but never lost that ability to surprise unsuspecting supercar drivers. Shooting brake. The CLS 63 AMG. Shooting brake was peak wagon performance. 850 horsepower and 1,069 pound-feet of torque in a car that could haul your entire life. It proved that practicality and insanity could coexist in perfect harmony. SL. The SL gave Brabus a chance to combine their engineering prowess with open-air motoring. The results were consistently spectacular across every generation. The SL 500 and SL 600 established the template. Take Mercedes' luxury Roadster and make it completely mental. The SL 600's V12 provided the foundation for some truly special builds. The 750 Bodo Bushman Edition, one of 25, represents the pinnacle of modern SL tuning. Limited to just 25 units, it's a tribute to Brabus founder Bodo Bushman. 750 horsepower, custom everything, and a price tag that reflects its exclusivity. K8 series. The K8 and SL55 K8 Roadster were Brabus, taking Mercedes' already powerful supercharged V8 and making it absolutely mental. The K8 designation represented serious performance, numbers that would make modern supercars nervous. The supercharged 5.4-liter V8 in K8 tune produced a sound that was addictive. Part mechanical symphony, part controlled explosion. With the top down, it was an assault on all the senses. SV12 Roadster. The SV12 Roadster was the ultimate expression of open-air luxury performance. A hand-built V12 making 730 horsepower. In a convertible that could cruise at 200+ miles per hour with the top down, it was completely impractical and absolutely perfect. The SL65 Roadster AMG variant pushed things further with 670 horsepower and 1,020 Newton-meters of torque. Open-air motoring had never been this violent or this refined simultaneously. SLS. When Mercedes brought back the gull wing with the SLS AMG, Brabus saw an opportunity to create something truly special. Every SLS they touched became legendary. The base SLS was already a masterpiece, but Brabus saw room for improvement. Even their mildest SLS modifications transformed the character completely. SLS 700 BiTurbo. The SLS 700 BiTurbo was where things got serious. The naturally aspirated 6.3-liter V8 got twin turbos, resulting in exactly 700 horsepower and a completely different personality. Where the stock SLS was smooth and refined, the Brabus was raw and aggressive. The sound alone was worth the price of admission. The twin-turbo V8 created a symphony that was part supercar, part fighter jet, part controlled explosion. And with the gull-wing doors, every arrival was an event that stopped traffic. The 700 BiTurbo could hit 60 miles per hour in 3.7 seconds and reach a top speed of 202 miles per hour. But the real magic was in how it delivered that performance. Instant throttle response thanks to the turbos, but with the linear power delivery that made the SLS so special. SLS AMG Roadster. The SLS AMG Roadster brought open-air motoring to the gull-wing concept. Without the iconic doors, it lost some theater, but gained the visceral experience of hearing that twin-turbo V8 without any barriers. AMG GT. The AMG GT gave Brabus a modern platform to showcase their engineering excellence. The results have been nothing short of spectacular, and they've built more variants than most people realize. The Brabus 800. AMG GT 63S was where they established the modern formula. Take Mercedes's already incredible twin-turbo V8, add Brabus tuning, and create something that could challenge any supercar on the planet. With exactly 800 horsepower, the 4-liter twin-turbo V8 responds incredibly well to Brabus tuning. Upgraded turbos, forged internals, and a complete ECU remap result in not just more power, but better power delivery across the entire rev range. Rocket 900. The Rocket 900 AMG GT 63S pushed things further with serious power in a car that weighed less than most SUVs. The power-to-weight ratio was supercar territory, but with 4 seats and a trunk. Rocket 1000, then came the Rocket 1001 of 25, the most powerful Brabus ever built. Exactly 1,000 horsepower from a hybrid V8 system, limited to just 25 units worldwide. It's not just fast, it's a rolling statement about what's possible when engineering meets artistry. The Rocket 1000 uses a combination of the twin-turbo V8 and electric motors to achieve that 4-digit horsepower figure. But it's not just about peak power. The electric motors fill in any turbo lag, creating seamless power delivery that feels supernatural. The current 1000 AMG GT 63 SE Performance and 930 AMG GT 63 SE Performance represent the pinnacle of Brabus engineering. The 1000 makes exactly 1,000 horsepower, while the 930 makes 930 horsepower with 1,550 Newton-meters of torque. Both are faster than most dedicated supercars, but with the refinement and luxury you expect from Mercedes. The 930 can do 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 2.8 seconds, which is McLaren territory in a 4-door GT. Rocket GTS. The Rocket GTS. Rocket GTS Mean Green, Rocket GTS Deep Blue, and Rocket GTC Deep Red each make 789 horsepower and show Brabus's attention to aesthetic detail. Each color isn't just paint. It's a complete aesthetic package that transforms the entire character of the car. The Deep Blue uses a 12-layer paint process that takes weeks to complete. The Mean Green has a military-inspired finish that changes appearance based on lighting conditions. The Deep Red is so deep it looks like liquid fire. Compact, Even Brabus's small cars were anything but subtle. Every compact Mercedes that got the Brabus treatment became something special. The CLK 500 made exactly 500 horsepower, living up to its name in the most literal way possible. The SLK 3.8S used a 3.8-liter V6, making 380 horsepower, proving that Brabus could extract serious performance from any engine configuration. These weren't just tuned cars. They were completely reimagined vehicles that happened to share DNA with their Mercedes counterparts. The CLK 500 could embarrass cars costing twice as much, while the SLK 3.8S redefined what a compact roadster could be. The 6.1 V8 BiTurbo deserves special mention as one of Brabus's most ambitious engine projects. This wasn't based on any specific model, but rather represented Brabus's ability to create bespoke power plants for special applications. What sets Brabus apart from every other tuner isn't just the power, it's the complete transformation philosophy. They don't just modify cars, they rebuild them from the ground up with a level of attention to detail that borders on obsessive. Every Brabus sedan and sports car starts with a complete teardown. The engine is removed, disassembled, and rebuilt with forged internals. Pistons, connecting rods, crankshafts, everything gets upgraded to handle the increased performance. The turbochargers are either upgraded or completely replaced with larger units. The intercoolers are upgraded for better heat dissipation. The fuel system gets high-flow injectors and pumps. Even the exhaust system is completely custom, tuned not just for performance, but for the perfect sound. The transmission doesn't escape attention either. Clutches are upgraded, cooling systems are improved, and the software is rewritten to handle the increased torque. The result is a drivetrain that's not just more powerful, but more reliable than the original. Suspension components are replaced with custom-valved dampers and stronger springs. Brakes are upgraded to massive multi-piston systems with larger discs. Wheels are custom-forged to handle the increased loads and provide the perfect aesthetic complement. Even the interior gets the full treatment. Custom leather, carbon fiber trim, and upgraded electronics ensure that the cabin matches the performance of the drivetrain. Every stitch, every surface, every control is considered and improved. What's your favorite Brabus sedan, coupe, or sports car? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into automotive legends that most people have never heard of.